Hello and welcome to the next show and next episode of the Deeptown Diverse VR show. And today I'm absolutely bombastically honored to have Alex Salnikov, the founder or co-founder of Rarible.com. If you don't know what Rarible is, go away from this show. I don't want to see you anymore. But no, actually, this is one of the biggest crypto uh, art or marketplaces in the world right now. Quite hot place, so you should definitely check it out. Welcome, Alex. Thanks for coming to the show.
Thanks, Arthur. Thank you for having me.
It's
Honored to be here. I think it's my first time doing a show via.
Yeah, I've lost some of your connection, but I guess you wanted to say that it's first time doing show in VR. Let's call it a cross reality experience. All right, you're calling from 2D directly into VR, and for those who don't know, we are a virtual reality show talking about tech, crypto, blockchain, whatever is hot today. You bet it's here, and we're discussing that. So I guess the first question from my side would be maybe could you tell us a little bit about yourself and how did you start in crypto? What was the journey which led you to Rarible?
Okay, sure. Let's try. You don't miss me, I suppose. Okay. Um, well, I'm a technical person. I studied computer science and data science in one of the best universities in Russia. And I discovered crypto during my second year of graduation, and that was in 2012. And since then, I haven't been doing anything else in my life. It's just I found my passion, and it worked well. I started with something simple. It was a trading robot, I suppose, with a simple moving average strategies.
Mm-hmm.
Then we moved to making exchange, fixed rate with the fixed rate. Then we went global with the order book based exchange. Built a lot of math. And during 2017, me and my co-founder was doing ERC 20 issuance platform, and that led us to starting Rarible. NFTs are so cool.
100%. I can confirm that statement, and I support that statement. So okay, and when you say you're a technical person, more technical, you mean like math and coding, or what exactly? Like, what are your strong skill sets, and what is the most fun for you to do?
Well, I suppose when I say technical person, yeah, I mean my graduation, it's purely technical. It's applied math, so it's not like highly mathematical. It's more like a mixed between the tech and math.
Hmm.
And I suppose most of my colleagues from the university became analysts or product managers. So I was kind of trained for a mixed background,
Hmm.
to have a critical mindset about the world. And well, it's not like to dive into anything, but since I've started doing projects long before I had all the university done, I've gathered just broad product mindset that allows me to build something cool. I'm a power user of a lot of stuff. My my mnemonic key have been, I don't know, maybe in 100 wallets, the public one.
Awesome. Okay, so that's cool. That's cool to hear. And okay, so you've been in crypto. What actually do you remember your first um your first kind of encounter with crypto? How did you learn about that concept about the blockchain? And what how did you react to that?
I recently tried to remember, and the earliest memory is reading the article on Hubbard, and well-known resource for technical guys here, about Bitcoin, about how it works, about this whole crypto native reality, and it struck me just from the beginning. So as as I, like my fundamental background allowed me to understand that there is like I just read that, okay, there is tokens on the internet, they are interoperable and you can own them. That makes money, and it just clicks something in your inside your mind. I do remember the first purchase. It was the night Silk Road went down. That Bitcoin crashed like 2x from 120 to $60, and I knew that it will be here still. Like some people were arguing, okay, yeah, there's nothing else to do with all of this crypto stuff.
Yeah.
But I knew it would stick, so I bought. I didn't have much money, so it was like 2 Bitcoins, and I
Woo!
sold them the next day,
Oh.
$120. But that was the sense of inclusivity. I felt, okay, I'm in, guys.
Right.
I tried it with my own hands, and I started building.
Amazing. And since we're at Bitcoin and Ethereum and stuff, so this show I ask questions and we discuss things as they are. All right, no boundaries. You can say whatever you want, and I ask questions which sometimes are tough, but which is which is important for our viewers here. Bitcoin and Ethereum. What do you like more? Why?
You've probably seen. Yeah, I sent you this pig.
Yeah. We had this guy, but I want to
comparing.
bring it to people as well. I want to
Sure,
kind of like
sure. Yeah.
discuss it.
That's so basically right now Bitcoin works like gold. Stable, it's bald, it's never going to go anywhere. It's ensuring its store of value narrative. That's what we can see now. There's nothing much is built on Bitcoin. So like Tether moved away from Bitcoin blockchain. Lightning Network didn't really strike yet. I don't know if it will be, if it will. So right now we can, like, in this crazy crypto world, we can count Bitcoin as a safe haven. And I'm eternally grateful to Bitcoin for that. It makes me believe in the future a little bit more.
Okay.
And Ethereum is just the younger brother, much more active, much more fun, much more engaging, much more buggy, and yeah, it's tough to pick. Right now, I'm building on Ethereum, so the let's say it was picked by my subconscious.
You made your choice, yes. Okay. But regarding Bitcoin, I think when you say store of value, what what is the difference in your opinion between like the storing the value in Bitcoin, let's say, in Ethereum? Because let's say the price fluctuations are pretty much similar. So you have huge swings up and down on Bitcoin and on Ethereum. Why do you think it's more, apart from the narrative, which is, people who are actually holding Bitcoin telling publicly, but why do you think Bitcoin is more suitable for value storage than Ethereum, for example?
Oh yeah, I have a long answer on this. I have a short and long ones. Let's get with the long one.
Let's do the long one.
Let me try to make this story. There is I don't remember which book it was, but I read somewhere. Okay, let's say you are going to Berlin Wall, and you came to a specific point of it. Like, what is the most probable point of like that you encounter it of the Berlin Wall, of any wall, if you don't see like it continuing to the left and to the right? And
okay,
the most probable point, and this book, there is just some basic mathematical arguing that the most probable, like your best guess is that you came to the middle. You can
okay.
Yes, and that's why, like, how long will Google exist? Your best guess that you came to the middle. So it existed for 30 years. Your best guess that it will be there for 30 more. And more or less the same like applies to Bitcoin. It exists like for longer now. It has more stable economics because there is still some negotiations about like inflation of Ethereum. There is some negotiations on on some monetary policy things, and for Bitcoin, the people who support it right now, they 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 feel to agree on that and forever.
Okay, understood. It makes sense. I personally tend to prioritize Ethereum, obviously, but the reason for me is that I'm a utility guy. I need to see use case. If I don't see a real use case, and that use case could be different, I understand that for some like just dumping the money there and keeping it as a value could be a use case. But for me, I need to see a recurring use case where it supports the value of something. If I don't see that, there's a real problem in my mind here to justify the value for something. But we'll come back to that, of course. Okay, and maybe let's dive into one other topic since we are in a virtual world, or at least I am, and you are calling into here. What is your experience in virtual worlds in games in general? When did you start playing games? What games do you like to play? Did you participate in any other virtual worlds in the past, like Second Life, Ultima Online, I don't know, World of Warcraft? Are you a gamer, actually?
Let me try to remember. Like, of course, I played. Uh, the the first game that I ever played was Need for Speed Hot Pursuit 2.
Oh, my man!
Yeah, and I had a PC. I had two compact discs with games. It was this one, Need for Speed and GTA. Yeah, and since then it's been rabbit hole. Like, I'm a big fan of multiplayer games, obviously. I kind of lost. I lost my passion to the single player ones after probably the Gothic one. Uh, it's the best story game ever that I ever played, and after that I've been playing multiplayer ones. So Counter-Strike,
Right.
Dota, because it's social. It feels like
Yeah.
the new version of playing football with your friends on the street.
And exactly. Yeah, I agree 100%. And I mean, when you said Need for Speed Hot Pursuit, like how old are you?
I'm 26.
26. Because I'm like 35. And my first version of first game I played was Need for Speed 2 SE. Because Hot Pursuit for me was a huge update. When I came to Hot Pursuit, it was already like, whoa, that's graphics, man. Now we're talking. So I started way earlier with this game, man. That feels me very old. I need to make my avatar look even younger. All right, so that's yeah. You see, that's how VR can actually help some people. You can be old, but you can look super young and stuff. All right, so gaming, social multiplayer makes sense. Same for me. Once you kind of try the multiplayer, once you can interact with real people, it's hard to go back. It is 100% true. So, all right, let's come closer then to Rarible. You've tried the Bitcoin. You understood. Okay, that's fun. I want to do this. You understand math. It's kind of like, and then how did you immerse yourself more into this crypto world? And what was the tipping point of you starting Rarible?
The tipping point was receiving my first NFT in my wallet. The same feeling as it was with purchasing crypto is this new sense of ownership. I know that it's in my wallet. I know that I have this app that can manage it. I know that if this app goes away, I can rebuild it from the source with my own hands. I know that I have a small app that can also manage it, like just a standalone web application that you can paste mnemonic and it will do everything. So I've tried several devices, several pieces. I knew that if something breaks, I'll be able to fix this. I will be able to move things,
Right.
even if like whatever. So the same happens with NFTs. Out of this, they just feel like an item, like a digital item that is truly yours. It's you can touch it. It has a visual attachment. It has a psychological attachment. That's why it's simple. You can describe this to anyone. It's not YC or VBTC pool share with impermanent loss. Well, yeah, and that was the point. We set up, minted some items, and we flipped it inside the team. Like I sold something for our designer. He sold it back to me. So we knew it was not real money, but even in the community like this, it still felt we spent some real money on it. Some mainnet either.
It's backed by
And
something. It's backed by something, yeah.
It felt like this fun game felt like worth spending, and that's the aha moment of this. Then we built it. The first version, I have a screenshot somewhere, was super simple, like 3 fields: image, name, description, price, 4 fields. And marketplace.
If you find the screenshot, send it to me. We'll put it in the video just to show the people how it looked. Okay, and when you were when was it? When did you start building Rarible? Which year, which month, if you remember?
It was September 2019 when we started building it.
So 1 year ago, basically.
Yeah. We built it in 2 months. So the first version deployed on mainnet was November 2019.
Cool.
Since then we're growing.
And when you were building Rarible, have you got inspiration from somewhere? What were the hardest and the easiest choices you had to make from the user interface and from the usability point of view? For example, there's OpenSea, huge marketplace. When you were building it, you obviously knew OpenSea. Did you try to do it better than they did? Did you see yourself as a competition for OpenSea, or how was this creative process? If you can guide us through that a little bit.
The creative process took 1 day, basically.
I love it.
So we sat in a restaurant. We ate some desserts. We filled our brains with some glucoses, and and we drew the first prototype. Basically, we knew the exact count, exact field, and numbers that are going to appear, and the marketplace. So the first idea was that NFT space is small. It's going to be bigger, and we want it to be bigger, and we want to give users tools to make it bigger. Like everyone hop in, create whatever you want, and push it and sell it. So marketplace was like a second thing when we built it. And the main idea was like, let's make more NFTs. Let's make more NFTs. Let's experiment on use cases. Let's try new things, and then we started out growing the marketplace. We added some coverability leaderboards. We needed sorting, filtering, search. That's just out of the requirements of the users. Like most of the Rarible was built by the community in sense of that. I've constantly been talking to users, and our head of design have been in close contact with all of the community, and they ask great things. And when user asks you something, he can't be wrong because he's a user.
Correct. Amen. I can confirm this. Even though sometimes users don't exactly know where the company is going, what's the vision, but that's a different topic for a later discussion.
Yeah,
Okay, so you design it.
iPhone.
You design it. You design it within a few days. Let's say you had this idea, and to be honest, I can see in overall that Rarible is coming first from the minting part of things and then to the marketplace part of thing. At least it feels like this, right? When you come to the site, the minting part is really cool. The functionality is great. The website is looking good. It's sleek. It's easy to understand. Of course, there's room for improvement, but definitely on the right path. All right, so you started to build this, and then what? Like they always say, build it and they will come. It sounds super easy, but I know it's not that easy. So what did you guys do? Like, how did you want to attract users? Who was the first one? How did you grow?
Mm, that's the most magical point of the whole Rarible. So we didn't target our community. So probably our head of design did.
Mm-hmm.
So he felt this. One of the first items that we mint was a designer-based like skateboard deck. So it was the NFT is as a way to express creativity from the start. And probably he then went on Twitter and told the like, okay, people, you can do that, and targeted some artist community. But it's not that we did some promotional campaign or anything like this. It was purely native. We talked to people. We explained how it worked. He did, Ilya, great shout out to him. He did a great job onboarding a lot of people directly to blockchain
Who is
didn't
Ilya
even
in
knew
your team,
about.
guys? What is his?
Yes, that's head of design who I've been
Okay.
referring to without the name
Okay.
previous 10 times.
Hello, Ilya. Yeah, if you when you'll be listening. Cool.
He just took by hand so many people and onboarded them to blockchain because like they didn't feel that it's necessary before. We integrated Fortmatic, so you could create a wallet just directly tied to your phone number. We integrated 3box for profile support, avatars, and to feel it more social. And that's how it just started to swirl. People started to come. We had some users just hopping, playing around, and they are still with us. They are the best supporters. I believe we made them happy doing retroactive airdrop of the RARI token to the core community. Like early Rarible users were a big part of it. So yeah, we've been growing like natively in terms of marketplace volume, 50 to 100 monthly. But when you do it from the zero, it's 100, 200, 500, 1,000 monthly, and but still it's exponential growth. So by the May, we've had some good collectors started picking up the platform. They noticed that there were early works minted on Rarible, and they are good. So I think Colburn came on in May and bought the whole Ozinachi pack. I hope I don't mistake about it. And so May, June were like the real starting point of picking traction, and then Compound launched the governance token, and we felt about creating our own token since the beginning, but then it just clicked that this liquidity program. DeFi projects are just money marketplaces. There are people who supply money, there are people who take money. So we just expanded this idea to the whole Rarible place. There are people who are supplying stuff, there are people who are buying stuff. Of course, it's a little bit harder because like all the money in DeFi are put together, and people are like borrowing from the main pool. On Rarible, it's more like disparate. You can take from anyone, but the overall idea is just like it's always hard to grow a marketplace. Yeah, the more buyers you have, the more seller come. The more seller come, the more buyers. It's a chicken and egg problem. A lot of VCs wrote a lot of papers on it, how to bootstrap a marketplace, and the main invention of DeFi world was the way to bootstrap the marketplaces, the money marketplaces, and we just took it and expanded the general marketplace idea. Uber, Amazon, Airbnb, they are all general marketplaces. If it works for Rarible, it can be bigger.
Okay, and we'll come back to Rarible. I promise you. You know it. But the token, I mean, the rare token. But before that, like, how many guys are working right now on Rarible? It's you and 3 more people, right? If I understand. Can you kind of introduce the team a little bit, and how did you come together? Who was the originator of the idea, or was it like a a group invention?
So right now there is a CEO, Alexei. I'm CPO. I'm just like doing all the product stuff. You know me. There is head of design Ilya. We have a CTO Evgeny. That's the core team. We have 3 more engineers that are doing like code stuff. We have communication persons. We have Asian markets communication persons. It's hard to count. I don't remember how, like, I didn't count them recently. I believe that's something like 10 people in total.
Okay, all right, cool. So, okay, coming back to RARI token. All right, let's dive a bit into it. You guys obviously did that famous RARI drop, and then the price went bonkers up. And that led to a lot of excitement on one hand, and a lot of people just dumping and earning some money. But then it also led to a lot of questions on the other hand. All right, and I myself put myself in the box of the question part, because I always, again, you know me, I'm a utility use case guy, and you said you wanted to do governance tokens. So could you explain, like, in few sentences, what is your how do you describe RARI token, and what's your vision for the future for RARI token? And then we'll dive into some specifics.
Yeah, that's an easy one. So imagine a midterm future. There is a DAO, variable DAO, that controls the protocol, that sets all the parameters, that has upgradable contract, that has a voting for changing any functionality, for improvements, for introducing anything they want, basically. So for controlling the ENS domain and the front end, community built front end. So yeah, I believe you can feel it as an XNIF. That's more or less the same model as we see in the DeFi world, and it proves working. And there is the point of now when we started the distribution to reward the existing users, to reward the marketplace participation. We started off-chain voting. For like the first voting was about the introducing fees on the marketplace and community grants and ambassador program. And there is like the big there is this big experimentation phase between those 2 points that we are in right now. Governance is a part of the product. We always consider it as the part of the product, and we want to create a governance process that is as sleek as the Rarible minting process. We want users to vote on everything smoothly. We want for them who don't want to vote, telling they're voting to the person they trust, to some market leader. And the governance space just started to boom. It will have a lot of experimentation done by other projects. There are projects like Boardroom, for example, who are aggregating the governance portals into single space. So like to have something like Parliament, we have an increasing demand for protocol politicians. That's the next like hot topic in crypto for at least a year. To bootstrap this community owning products. At some point, there was an event in the internet when Twitter either wanted to sell it to sell itself somewhere, or I don't remember what was it exactly, but there was something regarding the transfer of ownership of Twitter. And at some point, users stand it and say, okay, we want to be like the new owners of Twitter. So we want to be self-governed community. And basically, that's what we see happening in crypto right now.
Okay, thank you. And governance topic is super hot right now. Let's DeFi, DAO, all this kind of stuff. People love hearing that, and they just jump on it and then they beat hell out of it. But let's have a real examples. So let's say 2 months from now, what do you see as a real example of users of Rarible will be able to vote for, or even in ideal scenario, like what are the, let's say in your mind, imagination, what would you love them to vote on, and what kind of control do you think they will get to decide about Rarible in the ideal situation, if everything works like you imagine?
Ideal situation 2 months from now. Well, basically that's down to the users themselves, because this self-governing requires a lot of participation, and that's what we're trying to encourage now. If you draft a proposal and it's good and it has a clear goals, and we as a team confirm that it's easy to implement on our side, then we are ready to put it on vote. So right now we have something from the community about logarithmic distribution of rare rewards, because sometimes like whales are receive like proportional amount of RARI doing big trades on marketplace, but it feels disproportional in terms of effort. So people propose to have some logarithmic decay of the rewards distributed to anyone, and that's ready to be voted if it's been drafted. So basically, the only thing that stops us right now from anything big is just the capacity for the team to develop, and capacity of the community to coordinate with each other. Because let's say there is a proposal, okay, we want to increase the volume of the marketplace 10 times. So it's not the proposal that can be implemented. So yeah, but if something is precise and has a clear goals and can be implemented quite easily, we can shoot it. So feel free to draft anything, to organize some advocates for that. We are about to introduce community calls where people would receive voice to talk about their ideas. I believe that's like in terms of week maybe would happen. So I don't know. Does that help?
It does, but let me play the devil's advocate. You don't think it would be so easy, okay, to answer. So you said, okay, I come back to the voting part, right, which is a very important part of the RARI token, right, the DAO aspect. You agree with that, right? Is that
right?
Okay, so now you said if you propose something as the community member, we as a team, now you founding team, you the owner of Rarible, decide whether we put it on vote or not. Now my question is right away is for you as the founder, and I'm a founder of Somnium as well, right? I have a community, we have great community and stuff, and we listen to community, but what pressures you? What kind of pressure do you get to actually do what community wants? Because to be honest, you as the founder of Rarible, you have basically zero or virtually zero responsibility to the community. You can say, look, I don't like your ideas. I want that to be like this. And however you will try, I will actually do what I want as the founder. And you don't have any legal bounding to do what they want. Even if they vote for it, you can still change your mind, and you can still change the aspect, and you can do basically whatever you want. Now the question then, from the user standpoint and from your standpoint, like, what are the check marks? How do you ensure that actually what community wants you will be implementing, and how do you ensure that community actually can influence something meaningful? Because so far to me, DAO concepts in a lot of times seem like a nice painted picture of this decentralized harmony in the future, but in the end of the day, people get to decide about what color of buttons they're having on the website, and what kind of drop down menus there will be in the near future, which to me is kind of like, do we need token for that? We can actually do this just by forum voting, or put a Twitter poll and you'll get it. You'll get your answer within 50 minutes. So what is your answer to that, for the skeptical view of like the DAO basically doesn't push you to do what they want?
Oh, I have pressure, you believe me. So the community is all that Rarible has for now. So we have tens of active users on Twitter, Telegram, and Discord. And they are the core of the success of Rarible. They go and advocate for things. They go on Twitter. They grab new people. They onboard them to Rarible. That's what all they do. If we don't listen to them, they stop doing it. So it's the part of the pressure, just because they are our users, and they trade on the marketplace, and that's the whole idea of the governance, looking to put this user at the wheel. And this overall skeptical point, like, whenever we have an experimentation come, there will always people who predict that the experiment would go well, and there are always people who predict that the experiment would go like bad. So just pick your side. I'm an optimistic one.
I'm doing this partially decentralized virtual reality world, so I think my side is picked. Yet I'm skeptical to some of the concepts because I just see some big flaws in the overall thinking of the concept and overall introduction of the use case. So let's say, okay, you said community, if we don't listen to them, they will go away or something like this. But in the end of the day, of course, it's not a black and white. So you can listen to some parts which you think are fine and you find interesting and you want to implement, and then you can just ignore some other parts. So it will never be like that whole community will go away. You will always please some part of community, even if you don't listen to the other part which you don't like. And that's a kind of big question, because it's basically the reassuring point where, if those proposals which you like and you will think are in line with your company strategy, let's say, you will implement and they will go on, but those which are not, you will just not implement. And the thing is, as legally, let's say, and that's coming back to the VCs and investing in the company, and all the legal documents which are normal companies are bound with, from that point of view, you have no obligation to the community, right? Except the pressure from the community that they don't leave. Other than that, you're free to do whatever you like. And it's just very important to understand for the community as well, in general, I think, so that they can understand what kind of eligibility they have in the future in case of some important decisions. But maybe one more question regarding the RARI token. So you introduced the RARI token, you did a drop. Can you explain a little bit what was the thinking behind the drop, and what was the calculations behind who receives what, so that people, I know many people ask this question. Maybe this would be a great opportunity to clarify, how did you guys do this first drop, and what was the calculation behind?
Yeah, there's still some misinterpretation of all the drop numbers and all of it. Thanks for the opportunity to clarify that. So basically, we had 10% of the initial supply. That's all listed on the Medium page. You can read it carefully if you want, but let me explain it here. So 10% are subject to be retroactively distributed to the NFT holders because we want NFT holders at stake. That's the platform for them. We want them to come and govern it. So 2% went to the original Rarible users who traded on the platform, who created the volume and initially supported the platform and advocated for it. And 8% are distributed to the whole NFT holders community. We did it in two parts. First, 4% are distributed already to the holders that we were able to find on the Dune Analytics service. Not every project has been indexed by the Dune Analytics. What we've done, we queried the numbers of NFTs. So we airdropped the tokens proportionally to the amount of to the worth of NFT holds of the specific address. In order to understand how much of NFTs hold the address, we need to understand the price of NFT. And for the understanding the price of NFT, it should be sold on chain at least once. So that's what we did. We created all the on-chain sales of NFTs that are in Dune Analytics right now, and we went to the address and checked like how much of the NFT that were sold at least once on chain does this address hold now, and that was the volume prorated to which they received airdrop tokens.
Okay. Cool. Thank you. That clarifies stuff. As I understand, you have another drop coming out sometime soon. You tweeted something about that. I also understand that you want to change a little bit the mathematical background of how you calculate the drop. Can you tell something about that? When will the next drop happen? How are you changing the algorithm and the logic behind the drop? And what can people expect?
Well, I can say the general idea for now. What we want is to expand the NFT holders because there were people who didn't receive anything just out of their they purchased NFT somewhere that we didn't track. We had the incomplete data, so we want to basically it's a merit-based airdrop. We want to airdrop proportionally to your impact to the NFT community, and the easiest proxy to do that is to count your holdings. That's what the general idea is. We want to make it more full, the picture more full, and that's the general idea. About the specifics, it's not ready to be said because it's still subject to determination.
Any date you have, or approximate date?
No, we don't have an approximate date so far.
Okay.
So we're preparing the data as soon as it's ready.
Okay. Cool. And the question now about the RARI token price. So you introduced this RARI token, you did the drop. Now the price went significantly up, and from my experience, from what I'm in the blockchain community, interacting with a lot of people, like at least 95% of people who I've encountered, they all were selling like crazy. Okay. And then, of course, the logical question is, if someone is selling, I'm an investment banker by studies, okay? So I've traded stocks and options and electricity and power contracts basically all my life before I started the startup. So the question is, if someone is selling, someone is buying. Do you have an understanding and idea of who is buying and why? Because there is certain uncertainty, or people don't understand, like, okay, who is actually providing that liquidity on the purchase side? Like, who is buying all that token and why? Your best guess, or maybe you know it.
Well, 95% of the people who I talk to are selling. Well, that's just sad. We have the numbers for the overall experience of the people, and the numbers are nearly as that. So I believe you're surrounded by maybe the people who don't believe much in what's going on. So the buyers are who believe. That's
What are the numbers in your latest opinion, or the numbers you know? What is
Yeah,
your
my understanding is that 30 to 40% of all the guys who received RARI held them,
Mhm.
and basically that's the answer. So there are a lot of people who want to hold them, who want to govern the platform, who want to be at the wheel, who want to introduce new features, who want to like tie their life somehow to the future of the platform, and there are those who don't. And
is
so
the
far,
yeah?
yeah,
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I believe the first group is bigger right now as like in terms of the pressure.
And when you say 30-40% people are holding them, are those the ones who received and claimed them but didn't sell, or those are all who received but didn't sell? Because that, I think that's also a difference
Yeah, those who claimed.
so those who claimed 30-40%, you say they didn't sell, they still hold them up to today. And
Yeah.
okay, but still, it doesn't answer completely the question is who is actually buying those tokens, like who is proactively purchasing them at the current prices, whatever the price is, like $4, $5, $7, whatever. But your best guess, like because the volume right now, I think the liquidity on Uniswap right now is like $250,000, if I'm not mistaken. Like there has to be a big buyer somewhere. There has to be someone who is providing that liquidity. Your best guess, who is it? It only community members, which is, I don't know if it's even possible to generate such a huge right now buying purchase power, or you see some big investors, whales, buying in the token as well.
All the Twitter is now getting mad about like NFT space to go parabolic in the foreseeable future. So I believe that has its roots. Just that's my best guess of there are people who are big believers in this space, and they are at the stake right now of Rarible, and they would make it better, and they would make it the platform that would capture the growth of the market. I'm really excited by it.
I can see it, and that's great. It's amazing. But so one question then, Rarible as the company, right? So if I'm a whale, right, and I'm super bombastically excited about NFT space, and I want to invest and stuff, so I buy Rarible token. In your opinion, he buys the Rarible token to actually then do this voting DAO thing and really steer and be involved, or he buys this as a speculation vehicle to hope that the price will go up and he will sell at a higher price later?
No, I think we need to ask them about it. I don't know.
Okay, you don't know, but another thing is when the let's say when the market is hot, which is amazing and it's happening right now. Everything tends to get more attention. Everything tends to rise and stuff. The great example is, for example, meme token. Do you know anything about that? Are you what do you think about meme token? Because there the price is like way up, and the use case is even more, to me, even questionable. So what's your opinion about meme? Did you hear anything about that on Twitter? Do you follow it?
Yeah, I think we've contacted the team. We talked with them, and they have a great community. They are so passionate about what they're doing. I admire the guys. I just admire like everyone who is trying something new, who is experimenting, who is a believer, who is looking at the future. That's what this space is all about. The communities receive their own power to self-organize. Blockchain value proposition is to organize people. I'm really excited. I'm willing to work with them.
100%. I'm excited too. I'm always, though, when the real money are involved, and there are money involved in that. Of course, I'm always two times caution and very much careful with what, even in Somnium, right? Because Somnium has up to date within a year, we've traded $3 million worth of virtual goods. It's a lot, and it's a high pressure. It's a lot of responsibility towards the community, towards the people who trust and invest money and put and buy stuff in Somnium and they, stuff. So I understand fully what you mean, and I'm excited about this space, but yet I try to kind of stay focused, because what I'm afraid what could happen is that if something is overhyped and there is not enough substantial use case and value below that fundamentally supporting that hype, let's say, could be, we can get into the bubble, and then when the bubble crashes, it hurts everyone and it will hurt community, and it might actually lead to even worse results than we were before we started. So that's why I'm kind of trying to get to the real use case to see, okay, what is the value behind, why people are investing into something, why are they buying something, is there any, so in your case, for example, I can understand if someone buys token right now, he could be betting on you guys generating huge revenue from community trading on your platform. Do you have fees on your platform right now? Do you as a company generate revenue at the moment?
At the moment, not. We don't generate revenue. We don't have fees on the platform so far. We will introduce them sooner than later, and I believe that would happen pretty soon. And our token is not an investment. It's used to govern the platform and to be at the will of it, to participate the Rarible community, to use it as some kind of decentralized reputation system. All of it. Have you seen the tokens introduced on Reddit?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, so I believe we want to think about like something similar.
Okay. So reputation system, get it. And what about if you're not generating right now the revenue? I assume you have you're financing it either yourself or you have some investors involved. We've seen the news about the investors which came in. Congratulations for that. This is of course amazing news, because when investors come in from the space or from outside space, it just confirms that the company can exist longer even without the revenue and actually longer create the vision they have. Could you tell us more about your plans, if it's possible, of course, regarding this investment round which you just had, and then about the future plans of onboarding new investors into the company? Where do you see Rarible in that respect? From like within a year from now or maybe 2 years from now?
Well, it's hard to tell. Basically, you've seen the news. If there will be more news to come, we'll announce it.
Oh man, come on, give us some juicy stuff here. We need some. But okay, that's just a question. What kind of level of control do your investors have over the company decisions? Are you able to tell us something like that? Or even if you're not able to tell us specifics, like, is it comfortable level of control? Is it like almost no level of control? Or is there a lot of level of control which they can actually impose on you as a founder and as a company for the future?
That's I feel like where these questions are coming, I have a completely different perspective on this. Mm-hmm. So this whole blockchain is a game of cooperation, people. You want economic incentives that make people work at the same goal. More or less the same happens when we talk about the corporate stuff. The first thing you want is to align incentives. You want everyone to have a shared vision on what's happening on Rarible, on what's going on with the space, and then you want to help each other, and you want so like it feels like a partner.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. You feel like a little bit opposed. Maybe you had some some trouble.
I try to because it is very important as well. So how they say I'm a little bit longer in the the startup industry in general. So they always say, start in love, and it's always great. And being a partner and find the investor who is a partner is an absolutely incredibly important part. And I cannot say that more. And you're absolutely right in that. The only thing is sometimes things go wrong, or sometimes opinion differ, and then of course comes in place the legal part of it, where you kind of, it's like DAO governance, right? You have certain powers to override certain things if you think you need to continue the way you need to continue, because you are the founder, you know the vision of the Rarible the best way. There's no better person in the world who knows where the Rarible should be in a year or two, and that's why I ask. It's just a question of how do you see that in your perspective? And I understand the partnership is very important. This is the most important part, to find the right investor, which is a fit for you and for the future of the company.
The legal part is the same. That's for which the American corporate system is known well for establishing the framework, the system when you can align incentives. So all the startups, they tell you just concentrate on the product. It is all solved. This structure is built by years. Like it's best optimized to have the incentives of founders aligned with themselves, with each other, and investors. It works.
Cool. Yeah, that's a good answer. So and your LTD or incorporation? What are you? You're a limited company, right?
It's C Corp.
Okay, C Corp. All right, got it. Cool. So what other things in the space of blockchain and NFTs excites you right now the most? Like, apart from Rarible, what else do you see where your heart starts to beat more faster when you hear about some certain parts of on an NFT market?
I'm a big believer in NFTs in general. We tend to see them as liquid IP rights. So right now you need to write a contract to maybe when you're writing a song or doing something like this, you need to write a real paper contract and sign it. It's not liquid. It's not traded like Wall Street stuff. It can be moved automatically. So NFTs are just a great representation of digital IP rights that are programmable and composable, and everything that happens below this category is what excites me. I believe we are in the experimentation phase, so I'm a big believer in general, and I encourage everyone who just go there, try something new, try to sell a book, try to create a collectible bottle of wine NFT or whatever. Just find something new and show it to the world.
Fantastic. Yeah, I think I've seen bottle of wines on OpenSea someday. There was a company who is doing that, I believe. At least certificates for the bottle of wine, which is cool. Sounds really really amazing. All right. So what is your message to your community? What is your message to people? What do you want people to know? What do people want to do? Where they can find you? Just preach, man, to the camera. What is, just tell what you want to tell to the whole NFT community.
Yeah, sure. I'm on Twitter, Insider0x. I want the community to know one single thing: is just we are about to make this NFT space bigger, and we want to play huge in it. So, and whoever is want to do the same is welcome on board. Like we encourage experimentation, we encourage any help, we encourage politicians, we encourage go there, create proposal, start something new. Like just any positive thing, and you're with us.
100%. I agree. And maybe the last thing, let's just last question. What do you see the biggest risk for NFT market is going to the future?
The biggest risk. That's an interesting one. I need to fantasize on it. I think there are just gradual amount of risks composed with each other. We have a risk of infrastructure that it's not available now. Have a risk of adoption that like users still find it hard to create a wallet, and it's all about cycles of creating new infrastructure and creating new products and creating new infrastructure on top. So the biggest risk is just not moving further.
Okay, so yeah, the adoption stuff, I can confirm that adopting or making people go into VR and then connect the wallets and create the wallets. And for those who don't know what blockchain is, it's kind of can be a painful process. But I can also confirm once they understand the process and once they learn why it is important, there's no way back. Like I can see it on our users. There's just no point of return for them because they don't want to lose the ownership. They don't want to lose this cool, freedom of being the man of your own products, the man of your own items. You own them, and not Somnium Space, not Rarible, nobody else. It's just you, and that's of course amazing part. So yeah, I mean, was a lot of fun. I can only say and wish a lot of luck to Rarible. Maybe one last thing, some juicy stuff. Like, what's the next hot feature you would love to say? Not community, but you or maybe community as well. You would love to see on Rarible happening. Like, what is the next big change, UI or usability, or whatever that is?
I I think the big one is introducing bids and auctions, and that's subject to happen soon, and that creates a new economic level of activities. I'm a big believer in this.
Cool. All right. So with that, I would like to conclude this amazing episode. Thank you, Alex, once again for coming to the show. It was a lot of fun. I hope next time you can be standing next to me and we can be talking from within VR. That would be fantastic. And yes, so for those who are watching, thank you very much. And as you know, see you next time on the other side of the monitor. Goodbye.
Bye.